So anyone from a solopreneur to an executive business owner, anyone could use a coach.
Sure.
A business coach.
Yeah.
And you
It's
are
a
an
business.
executive business coach, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what you do because it all pertains, almost everything that you say pertains to anyone.
Yeah.
No? Almost
Leaders,
anyone?
leaders.
Leaders.
I don't coach
Well,
everyone.
that's true. That's
I
true.
don't coach
And
everyone.
explain,
I'm not that kind of a
explain too what you mean by leader. A leader that the leader's cut. That person.
A business owner is a leader. An executive in a big company is still a leader. They're more of an entrepreneur. In other words, they have that entrepreneur mindset, but they understand that the politics of a corporation are something different than when you own the place. Right? We could talk at length of small businesses excel usually at being more effective and efficient about their team members because there's less room for mediocrity to hide, where big companies are really good at process documentation and systemization and so on. But then it's pretty easy for mediocre people to hide because it's a corporation.
So that's why when we were talking before, we said we were going to talk about who you work with, who the kind of people you work with.
Yeah, leaders.
Leaders. And let me explain to you too, we've been working with you for a long time, we together are here at the show, and one of the things, when you say making the cut, what that really means, do you want to take your business to that next level where you are making the cut, making that you're doing the best at what you do in a daily basis?
Right. Are you going to be in the elite group, right? The people that play professional sports? You're not just a weekend warrior playing a little baseball on the side. This is a serious effort for you, and you want to play in the elite level. You don't need a coach to just sort of play around and have a lifestyle business. A coach will help you play the best you've ever played with the talents that you have and connect to the people that are working with near and for you, including contractors, and making sure that you're very clear on mission, purpose, vision, values, and what your leadership brand is. So, a lot of people, they have the idea for the business itself, but they're not sure how to manage people, and that's when they start to really get into friction points and obstacles is as they're hiring more and more people, and that organization's much bigger. They can't, the person who is the go-to, the owner who is the go-to, or the executive who's the go-to for everything can't be the go-to once you have a company that goes from 10 to 100 to 1,000 and up. It just doesn't scale correctly. That's the definition of scale.
Right. You are a certified executive business coach.
A professional certified coach, a PCC from the International Coaching Federation. So that's the gold standard in my industry. There's nothing that says anyone can't call themselves a coach. I've chosen to properly credential myself with the International Coaching Federation, so there's a standard behind what I had to do to earn that. So I had to take my 192 credit hours. I needed to log 500 client coaching hours. I then had to sit for an exam to prove that I understood the coaching principles, etc. So that just gives you, out of the gate, you understand that I have demonstrated that I have a track record.
He's the same kind of person he talks about.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
I'm playing
if you're going to
lead
expect that
relative,
from others,
right.
you have to be the same.
Yeah.
Right.
It's sort of, it's your fitness coach, and you want the one that she or he is in physical prime shape, eating cleanly, sticking to their wellness regimen, because they're role modeling for you what they're telling you got to do. I role model exactly what I encourage my business owners, my business leaders to do. I do myself in my business.
So we've got our lines open here for everyone to get this academy. It is free by calling me. So, and maybe it's you or someone that you know. Our number here is 602-277-5369. The website is makingthecut.biz. You're going to get a lot there for free, and everyone, I'm telling you, should go up there and get it, because you're gonna get something out of it. And right now, everyone has that feeling of, yeah, I'm gonna do this, is gung-ho to do everything, and I'm gonna make things better. Let's have you do that, and call me and get this academy for free at 602-277-5369. You're gonna love it that you did it. I will also have here that we wanted to talk about, well, you might have a little bit, about giving it time, about how people start things, and then all of a sudden, they give up because ABC.
Yeah, it takes what it takes. I don't remember the exact book, but one of Coach Tony Dungy's books when he talks about, I think he had just gone from Buccaneers to the Colts, I think. Anyway, the point was, at the time, I don't think the Colts were winning very much. So he had a new way of coaching. He was very focused on collaborative work on the team, different plays, and they were having a lot of success, and they got to a playoff game, choked and lost, and they were out. And as he unpacked that, basically his players went back to the way they used to play the game, and their comment, and I hear this in business all the time, well, there was so much on the line, I didn't want to risk that new thing. And we can see the paradox. The new thing was, the old thing rather, was they were losing. The new thing was so new, and it's just this psychology of when we're under pressure and things get tough, you have to have faith in the thing that you're focused on, the change, right? What got you here won't get you there. So if you keep playing the old way, you will get the exact results you've been getting. You don't need me to coach you to something new if you're perfectly satisfied with what you're getting. So the other element of that was, part of like physical exercises. You're exercising things you haven't exercised. You're going to be sore. You may not see visually the change yet because it's inside then to the outside, right? The muscles are changing before the fat melts off. So you start the regimen. You feel sore. You're like, I feel like crap.
It's been 3 days.
Yeah, it's been 3 days. I feel like crap. I just want to sleep in, and it looks the same anyway. I may as well just not feel like crap and look the same anyway. You're being impatient, right? If you stick with it, again, it's that the new way was proving wins, and then it got tough, and they all reverted back to the old. So that's that whole thing of, you can see how hard it is to change yourself. So it's kind of silly if you just bark at others and expect them to change without doing the hard work yourself. Sustained change. But again, if you go back to the profit equation calculator, it will demonstrate in dollars and cents how small changes executed with discipline over time create huge results.
So go up onto the website. It's makingthcut.biz. You can call in here, get that academy for me for free at 602-277-5369. I want to ask you this. Why is it so hard for us to change?
Well, it's harder.
Cat got your tongue.
No, it's harder because there's not one answer.
There isn't.
For some
I know
people,
you.
it's not. I'm like, it's not hard to change. It's not hard to change at all. If you just decide, if that's your mindset of change is easy, I work with clients for whom change is easy. They just need guidance and support. They're like, okay, I know I need to change, I'm just not sure which part, and so we unpack that. Others resist the change. They fight themselves, right? They fight themselves relentlessly. They're in denial. So change isn't hard for some people. But what we're talking about is transformational change.
It's our mindset.
Where people are kind of set and they aren't ready yet.
Yeah.
Right? People have to be ready and want it. Sort of like in one of my clients is in addiction treatment. And what many of them would tell you is until some people find a rock bottom, and that's when they get the help and make the shift. But rock bottom is individual. So that's why for some of us, it looks like change is easy for other people. Maybe they're just doing a lot of their internal work and it came earlier for them. Other people, in my other example of addiction treatment, some people lose it all, go to jail, prison, lose the house, the marriage, the kid, all of it. And then they realize they need help.
Right.
Like that's
Sometimes it's different for everybody.
It is.
But
it's customized. But when we come back, we'll talk about how we customize coaching plans and why it's so individual. Success is so individual, and that's the most important aspect of a coaching plan.
Absolutely, and having it being a customized plan makes it even better because it fits your needs.
That's yours.
Right. Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get the Academy from me for free. So 602-277-5369. Go up onto that website, which is makingthecut.biz. You're gonna love it that you did it. You're gonna get the book. You're gonna get the profit equation and calculator. There's all sorts of things up there that you're gonna get for free. So you're gonna love that you got that and the Academy by calling me at 602-277-5369. It's makingthecut.biz. I'm not letting you leave here today without talking about time. I would kill myself if I didn't talk about time with you, especially this time.
So when we come back, we'll do customized and time, customized and time.
Gotcha. Because it's what we talk about every time, so it's important.
Yes, of course. And usually we start with this, so it's nice to end with
I know, yeah.
I've already got a text from a caller.
Good.
He called last time. We just haven't connected for the holidays, so that'll be nice
good.
to.
Well, then at least he's listening again, that's nice.
Yeah. He just listens to you every day.
There's a lot of people that do.
Yeah.
Do you know there's a lot of people that have been listening to me for years? It's like this, I shouldn't be surprised. But, you'll go, oh, how long have you listened? Oh, like 5 years or something like that, It's awesome.
Yeah.
It really is.
That's why how long do people coach? Well, I have people that started with me and are still with me.
Yeah.
And others do like a 6-month engagement. And
I think people like to try and see what it's like. And once you've got them and you're working with them, like and you do what you do and you're so good at what you do, they can't help but want to be with you and work with you. I'm sure that happens.
And my long-term clients are all like that. But there's also the other 6 months. They think of it as an intensive. It's 6 months, and I have a client. I work with his company, but about every 6 to 12 months, he changes. The owner changes coaches. I have been working with the company for years and years and years. But I just introduce him to new coaches because each new coach pushes him a different way.
Oh,
so
well, that's understandable too.
That's how he's wired.
Yeah.
Now, others in his company will say, Ken has been pushing me through coaching for 5 years. So, and that's more common. It's uncommon for people to want to work with somebody new once they find somebody.
I don't see working with somebody for 6 months. I don't see how that can, I think you really need, especially when you're just starting to get that momentum together, because it does take time.
It does.
We just talked about that, no matter what.
It's 9 months to make a baby.
Yeah.
If you assign 9 people to it, you don't get the baby in a month.
Right, no matter what.
Time just works the way time works. It takes what it takes. I'm not suggesting we dawdle about it, but it does work the way it works.
I know. Huh.
And sports is another analogy. If you really apply yourself to your craft, you'll continue to get better every single year.
Right, and people should.
If
and
you're being coached, as opposed to, I've been doing this 20 years. Actually, year 20 looks just like year 2. Like you learned it, but you never improved.
And you kept on doing the same old thing over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And so I try to bring in something new every year. I try.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Keeps the brain active.
So welcome back. I love talking to Ken Kilday. I do, because being that I'm a business owner, right? I just learned so much from you every time that you're on. And one of the things that we did want to talk about was these customized plans, right? And we want to talk about what that means to your clients and how you do that with them. We also want you to know that you can still call in here and get this Academy from me for free by calling 602-277-5369 and go up onto his website, which is makingthecut.biz. And then we're going to talk about my favorite subject after that. Okay, go ahead.
All right, so what everyone should know is I don't have a boilerplate coaching plan for you. I have an outline of how I'll ask you questions and discover what you need, and then we'll build a coaching plan that gets you specifically according to your talents, abilities, vision for your business and what you're trying to accomplish. The coaching plan will support that initiative. So it is all about you, what In the same way that, you know, I have a fitness coach, and all of his programming is designed to help me reach my personal fitness goals. I happen to know several of people I know also work with him. Theirs look really different than mine. There's some similar things in there. I mean, there's just so many ways you can lift a weight. But the point is, the complete recipe is designed for what I'm trying to accomplish, and same for his other clients. So the same is true of coaching. There's going to be some cadence similarity to it, but we're going to really focus on what you are trying to achieve as a leader or as a leader.
And you can do this by starting with his website. Go up there, it's makingthecut.biz, and call in here at 602-277-5369, because you're gonna want the academy once you start and see everything that is there. It's just gonna take everything you see and then kind of go into it a little bit deeper, dives a little bit deeper, right?
Yep.
So 602-277-5369, my favorite subject.
Yep.
Right, what's the number one question that you get asked?
The challenge that I get, I don't have time.
Yeah.
Yeah. You all, the global, the royal you all have, we all have the same 160 hours per week. That's all any of us get. No one gets more, no one gets less. Some of us just don't use it as an excuse not to get things done.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what I would coach you to is the better you are with your time, the more disciplined you are with your time, the more that becomes a competitive advantage for you. That's my point. And in life, it's just a competitive advantage. So for those of you that have kids, have already raised kids, you all know none of your kids ever push back in terms of, I want an hour versus a half hour. It was, do they have your undivided attention for some period of time? It wasn't a quantity, it was a quality thing. And that's where I would go with it is, if you don't have time, it just means you're sloppy, right?
Thanks.
Yeah, that's just all there is to it. Eons ago when I worked in retail, our loss prevention manager said, there's only two ways to lose money. You're either careless or a thief. It's an accountability thing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you don't have time, it means whatever you're doing is your priority. If you're scrolling any type of social media, that's time that can be used building your business, interacting with your spouse, interacting with your children, interacting with your employees, teaching one of your employees how to do something they don't know how to do so that you no longer have to do it. And that helps their development and also gets it off your plate. So what are you doing with your time? And once I know that, I'll tell you what your priorities are. It's sort of, you want another fitness analogy is the I can't afford a gym or I can't afford whatever, right? Well, let's take a look at your cable package or your 25 streaming services. If that's where your priority is, then it isn't in joining a fitness community to be fit. Mm-hmm. It's in sitting on the couch and watching streaming entertainment.
How many people have that New Year's resolution that I'm not going to be scrolling on my phone anymore? My daughter actually gave me her phone and said, she said, I want you to hold on to my phone right now for me because I don't want to use it for a while. That's my New Year's resolution. I'm not going to use it for a while.
Mm.
So she gave me her phone. Like 5 minutes later, she's like, Mom, can I have my phone? But and there you go, right? But
it's become her emotional support device. That's probably a whole separate show. Is how we use electronics. But in terms of time, it's Stephen Covey got it right all the 30, 40 years ago when he wrote The 7 Habits is for putting first things first, which is rocks. And his whole metaphor premise was if you put the big things first, you will very quickly learn how many little things you let get in the way. Google it. There's an old, it's got to be 90s just by the way they're dressed and the amount of polyester and hairspray and
I thought you were looking at me there for a second.
No. If you go back, watch Stephen Covey's presentation he does in the ballroom on rocks, and it'll help you understand. When I'm working with a company, usually when we talk through rocks, how are you setting priorities? What are your focus items? It happens 100% of the time. Somebody says, I just have been so busy this week, I didn't have time for my rocks. Like, okay, what were you doing? Because those were, by definition, your rocks. Those were, whatever
Most
you did,
important.
that was the priority. Well, literally a client, well, what am I supposed to do? Ignore people's questions? Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Train them where to get the information, and then shut your door and do your work.
So,
Create
okay.
structure. You create structure for success. If you are reacting to everything, you don't have rocks.
And we all do it. We're all sitting here listening right now,
How am I
saying,
supposed to? How am I supposed to?
Yeah.
You make a small shift. So, for instance, how do I keep people from knocking on my door and asking me questions? Well, you've taught them a new habit. How do you teach them a new habit? Office hours are from 9 to 10 and 3 to 4. Questions come there, and then you shut your door.
And that's it. And you have to be disciplined enough to be able to, and that takes time too, right?
Yeah.
Just like everything, you have to get used to it, and you might even not like it at first because you miss it, but at the same
Because it was an
time.
avoidance behavior for you.
Yeah, exactly.
All that reaction kept you from actually being accountable for the job you should be doing.
And that is where we came full circle just from where we started, which was you're in the way of yourself.
Yeah, you're in your own way.
And you can't keep on blaming other people. You can make the decision to change the way you do things.
Yeah, the obstacle and the answer are both staring back at you in the mirror.
Yeah, I couldn't even say anything after you said that because it's so true. It's like,
Yeah.
what else do you say?
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're in your own way, and you can get out of your own way. You really can.
Yeah, and sometimes it's nice to have, like I think someone like you that can give you those ideas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because not all of us think of them, right?
For sure. And if you're working with any of us business coaches, we speak to enough people in various industries that sometimes we just pollinate some good ideas. That's one of the
And that's
functions.
okay. That's a
It
good
is
thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every business owner loves it. Like, hey, if there's something I say that helps another business owner, heck yeah. Because we've all had help from somebody. And so we want to pay it forward, and that's part of how I do is I spread little ideas I hear from clients, and they're just genius to other clients. Obviously, they're not trade secrets, not that kind of thing. Just little habits that people find very effective. There are 1,000 ways to manage your time for yourself. And again, let's reiterate, it's a custom plan. You want to manage time better, we're going to talk about what works for you. I'm not going, it's sort of like when I did financial planning, people thought I would put them on a budget. I'm not putting you on a budget. You're deciding how you want to use your resources. Your time is yet the most precious resource of all time. There's nothing more precious than time. You can't buy more.
You can't get it back.
You cannot get it back. It expires immediately. You can always make more money. You can always make more money. You can always work out more. You can always eat differently. You can change just about everything. But once time's gone, it is gone.
Now, we've got our lines open here for everyone to get that academy from me for free. So 602-277-5369. I'm going to give you the floor, and I want you to tell them your final words.
Yeah, final words. If you don't make a shift now, and you're in the same place 6 months from now, how's that going to feel? Would you be perfectly happy being in the same place you are today 6 months from now? And if not, if your business is running you instead of running well, let's have a conversation.
And the best thing that you can do today, right now, is go up onto that website, which is makingthecut.biz, and when you go up there, you're going to get a lot for free. You're going to see that the academy costs money, but not if you call me, and you will get it for free. So 602-277-5369. Ken, thank you. Thank you for all that you do and for being on the show as long as you have. And I want to say this, when it comes to business coaches, you're the elite.
Thank you.
You're the elite, and this is what makes him different. Again, go up onto the website, which is makingthecut.biz. You're going to love that you went up there and check this out and get that academy from me for free at 602-277-5369.